I don't remember ever seeing a week with so much carnage. My team has 7 players out and an eighth if you include Talau's 3. So I'm gonna have to max trade this week with the carnage of some of the players. But I've never seen a week with so much carnage, but so many high scoring players. Like pretty much everyone seems to be doing great. And I've seen so many teams with their lowest score being like a Lemuelu and Manu type of combination, or even if they don't have one of them, that's their lowest score, just one of those guys, which is just crazy. And I hope that you've missed out on a fair bit of the fallout, but with Billy Smith being out, just it forced my hand a little bit. I wish I knew that he was going to be out. Apparently, he had a training mishap, so it would have been nice for them to tell us a little bit earlier. I would have been able to bring Ponga in, which is beautiful. But he's coming into my side next week. I definitely will have enough cash to get rid of Talau and go straight to Ponga. So that's the plan there, needing a wing fullback, because I am not playing Tommy next week. Let's say that. Let's go to this first game here, Dragons and the Bunnies. And with like 4 minutes to go, they were down by 22, and then Rabbitohs almost had a chance to tie this game up. Hilarious Dragons, aren't they? How they can almost just try and lose it from there. But my trade in 2 weeks ago, Damien Cook was the star of the show in this one. Big tackle numbers, 51 with 4 misses and an error. So neg 10 there, but 3 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, went sort of 60 meters there at one point, which was great and shows the ability that he still has in this day and age. He may have been able to burn him and go all the way 5 years ago, but he did a great job in this one, 68. And obviously glad that this week we're able to get plenty of value out of his 50-ish price point. So good stuff from Damien. And if you do own him, you needed this score because there is a high chance that he goes into Origin, and then means round 17 if he you potentially could take a knock in Origin and miss some time in 17. If he then plays 19, he'll miss 20. He'll miss 19 and 20 as well. So we needed that score, that's for sure. But Damo, great work there. Molo had a try in this one, which was interesting. Him and Francis have been doing pretty well overall. They're playing good minutes. They're doing a good job. 33 tackles for no misses for Michael there. And Francis was not as good, but still no misses. A couple of penalties in there, that's all. So for the most part, a lot of their forwards doing a really good job. So shout out to some of the Dragons forwards there. Graham there, 64. He had a good game, obviously 2 assists and the try, especially at the end, helped them get into a good position. We had Ben Hunt there with 59. Again, did his job. Thankfully for the Dragons, they got that win. I definitely think the Souths were vulnerable coming into this one with with a few of their players out, especially Cody Walker, Latrell. They're a big part of this squad, and Cam Murray. It's very hard to win, obviously just with Cookie and Ilias there in the frame. Obviously, playing with Taff, and there's a bunch of decent guys, but if the Dragons at home, they can always do a good job if they get the opportunity, or if they turn up and play hard. Jaden Sewer played 72 minutes for 14 tackles, pretty wild, but a line break try, 4 offloads in this one. He looked really tough to tackle, that is for sure. So anyone who's grabbed him over the last while, I hope you didn't trade him out when he had that small injury there. Ilias with the 53, so he did take over a little bit, did a good job, very limited on the negative side. Blake Laurie came in and played, and he was good as well for his 41 minutes for 50. Cheekham got the 80 minutes on the edge with Colin Matangi mixing between the middle and an edge there. For his 69 minutes there, Colin Matangi 47. So anyone who looked at him, he got a try assist, and only 47 points. So I still don't think he's an option fantasy-wise if you can do that in this type of game and still not score well enough. And, buy next week. They've got a lot going on, all the South guys, with 3 buys coming up. Jacob Little ended up getting huge minutes there with Mbai dropping off the bench, which I was very scared about. And then he was looking so low with at 33 minutes or something like that. He was on like 14, 15 or so. And then I think he got to 20 in a couple of minutes there and then scored that try. So that cooked a lot of the non-owners, but well done to anyone who does own. Only 20 meters gain though, which is a little bit annoying. 1 offload, 3 tackle breaks, and that line break try. So tackle numbers were way down compared to last week. You're 31 for 4 misses compared to locking in 40 tackles in 40 minutes last week. So yes, this game was pretty high scoring, but still it's you're playing very extended minutes compared to last week. So Little did his job, but he obviously had the bye next week, which is hurtful. And Turpin, it sounds like it's clearly the better option over the last 2 weeks for sure. The tackle bot Terps. We're gonna get that trending for sure. Tyrell Sloan, 47 for him. He was much better. He still dropped one, or dropped three, sorry, but dropped one when they had a chance to go the length there. He was a little bit lax with the ball and got that pushed out. Isaiah Tass, for anyone who grabbed him a few weeks ago, he's gone 50-odd, 50-odd, 45, so good stuff there. Totola, 43 in his 52 minutes. I think he's someone that's probably done his job now. Completely up to you. Obviously, they do play in round 19, and that is going to be helpful if you need a mid for round 19, but I don't think a lot of us do when we're holding Jack DeBellins, the Horsburghs, and these types of guys. I don't know if we're going to need Totola. So he is one of those guys you could trade next week. Harmoselli, on the other hand, I think with his biggest score last week, he's 43, this one, playing big minutes. I think that he could be held, but I do see the merit in trading him as well. So completely up to you on that one. Lomax, the 6 goals in this one, only 6 in negatives. Run the ball a decent amount, but no tries for him. Stopped him from going into the 40s, 50s. Dean Hawkins was solid, guys, but 2 tries this there. Kicked a little bit. I thought he might have kicked a little bit more, but no running in the footy. You probably needed him to do that a little bit more to give them a chance of winning. But again, they were getting smashed in this one. So what can you do in that time? Havili back with a vengeance. Two tackle breaks there, an offload to ground, and 2 to hand, 56 run meters. Obviously, they didn't have the ball a lot of the time he was on the park, but good to see him back, fit and firing, his PPM beast as always. All right, we've got Johnson with 31, so pretty lucky to be able to get such a high score, only the 1 negative with 1 missed tackle, but an offload, a turnover tackle, some kick defusals, some tackle breaks in there for 31 for him. So, yeah, it worked out all right. It could have been worse, let's just say that. And you want Walker back, you want Muzz back, and you want Latrell back to get him back to those good scores. But again, he's not a super high scorer there. You had, who else we had from there? Sullivan with 27, Host with 24 with the try and the line break. So yeah, 37 minutes there. And then that's not great at all. And then Murdoch Masilla with 18 there in his 80 minutes. So not great if you did hold on Murdoch. If you did trade him out like a few people did, it worked out this time. It didn't work out in round 13, but it worked out in this one. Let's go to the Broncos and the Knights. And this game hurt me, let's just say that. I had no players in this one, and there were some big scores, that's for sure. Payne Haas, oh my God, he is amazing. 8 tackle breaks, 4 offloads, 41 tackles, no misses, 199 meters. Couldn't give him that 1 extra meter just to make it a clean, perfect game. Wow, 70 minutes in this one. Obviously, given that they played the last 2 weeks, 55 minutes for him, didn't play his best last week. And then the week before, he was off with Origin. He now goes to Origin camp again and misses 16. So it was a great opportunity to play him big minutes, and I expect the same in round 18. So if you have held through all of this, he's still owned by a large chunk of people. I saw 1 or 2 people captain him as well. The person that's moved into first overall captained him. So well done on that one. But Payne, massive effort here. And a real heartbreaking loss for the Knights with the Broncos coming over the top right at the end there. Very, very frustrating there. Okay, Ponga. What about the one? They end up giving him a try saver and he missed the tackle. Cool. I was watching that. I was like, oh, yeah, wow, he's going to get like 9 points here. Thankfully, he did only get the 5, so I'll cop that. But yeah, he fell off the tackle, and I think it was, who was it? Gagai that ended up saving the tackle. You see there, like, he's still trying to score, and then Ponga's like up and like trying to go and put a hand on him again. He'd already lost the ball by that point, so he did help. But then he missed the tackle, so it's weird how they judge that one for sure. But 71 for him, electric. Where was the good defense this week that I was hoping for, Broncos fans? Like, you had everyone back and the defense was off. So I was really hoping that, this is my theory, okay? Ponga, yes, he's going to make money this week. There's a chance that he gets a head knock, something like that. He gets injured, whatever. So I was like, I'm going to wait until round 13. Broncos have good defense. He should be able to get like a 45. And then he just went through on the left side and ran the length. And I was like, cool. That was great. But yeah, 10 tackle breaks for him. Big run meters, kicking the ball a little bit as well to go along with his 2 line breaks and the try. Ponga was great. Talau goes to Ponga next week, which is exciting for me. But he'll be closer to 500k after that. So about 490-ish, I believe. Still doable, thank goodness. But yeah, he was great. So was Reece Walsh. He was electric as always. 13 tackle breaks, 2 offloads. He got that line break assist, offload, tackle breaks at the start of the game, like within the first couple of minutes. I was like, oh, cool. Walsh is off to a good start. He was 20 very, very quickly. Ended up at 71. Great work from him. Dan Gagai, a massive score from him as well. He had obviously that try saver as well. Didn't get the turnover tackle for that. So why? That's weird. I don't know why he didn't get the turnover. I thought he'd get the double, but yeah, they just gave him both a try saver. So I don't know. But yeah, Gags. Anyone looked at him? Awesome. If you looked at Marzu, he was the lesser of the option this week. Obviously, Gags at center. If you went, yeah, you wouldn't have been able to. I would say Billy Smith to Gags would have been a nice trade for sure. Dom Young was good with his couple of tries, 3 line breaks. Carrigan big minutes as well. So 70 for both of them. Interesting, they both come off at the same time. They obviously trust and trust having them off at the same time, but enjoy having them play together. So that's interesting to note. The last few weeks that they've done that, they've walked off together and done a double trade. Carrigan was awesome again, guys, and he's obviously someone that you can hold, but you are expecting those lower minute games after Origin. So same again in round 17 and again in round 20. But these one-off full games that they can play, sounds like they're going to go pretty hard because they get that longer break. I think it's 11 days or something like that they get between this and Origin, so they get that extra rest than they normally would for club, which they're pretty excited about. Obviously, as I said, guys, pretty big game overall for points. Farnworth, of course, when I didn't have anyone playing. Farnworth 61, Reynolds 59. Both got involved in a lot and did great jobs. Reynolds, didn't do his chances any harm at an Origin selection, but they did almost lose at the same time. But shows that they can pull it out when they need to. Cobbo 50. Ricky 50, both solid again. Hastings, if anyone grabbed him, 47 was solid. Flegs with 42, kind of about the norm for him at the moment in those minutes. As I said, Marzu there with 36. Piakura with a nice try. Not too much else. Everyone that's relevant did pretty well. I did see a couple of people bring Adam Elliott in. Again, a mistake, unfortunately. We knew this was going to be the case. He got 27 in big minutes last week. 27 in 39 this time. Still 3 missed tackles and a penalty. Not ideal. Crossan, the 26 minutes in the full 80 minutes. So he 26 points in 80 minutes. He needs to go, guys. 9 missed tackles there. An error. An inside 10. No running of the footy. Basically no kicking. He is done. Unfortunately, get him out of your sides, even though he does play in round 16 there. If you have many other issues, then sure, you can hold on. But I just think he's going to start to lose cash now and be a little bit of a mistake for you. Smoothie just came on and made tackles. So that was fun for him. And we'll move to the last game. And overall, pretty solid for my point scoring, I'll say. There's some decent points and decent efforts around the world here. Isaiah Yeo just continues to keep doing it. Incredible work for him. He had that try earlier. He had a chance to score earlier. Didn't happen, I believe. And then he ended up going over for that try. And live to the eye, I was like, oh yeah, Teddy, maybe a try saver here. And it looked like maybe he was just short. And they just gave it and confirmed it straight away. I was like, maybe we don't have all the same views. And then they eventually showed the side view. And I was like, okay, he just got there. Like, it was close. But they try confirmed it in 3 seconds. It was wild when they look at these things so often, so many times, and you get the craps with it. And then this time they decide not to look at it too much. So yeah, whatever. Worked out. For those who brought in Sorensen, huge. 67 points for him. He had a line break in there. He had 4 offloads, 4 tackle breaks, big run meters there, the 229. So he was great. And yeah, it just shows here that how bad the Roosters are. So Panthers don't have Cleary, and they just put on a clinic as always. The only person to get a try and do something special was Teddy in this one. We'll speak about Manu in a sec, but he doesn't look good at all, does he? Sorensen, yeah, big score from him in less than minutes too, so he even got that rest, and he'll play big minutes next week. Unfortunately, for those that have Hosking and Billy Smith, I know there was a few of them. Hosking was rested as well. There was nothing much on him. Apparently, Billy Smith had an injury at training, so no idea at this point how long that's going to be, or if he's going to be back next week, but I traded him straight to Jake Turpin, so and still have 2 trades left to make, which I will be Lukey and Dylan Brown as well. But yeah, Nat Butcher, I saw a couple of people brought in that. 59 tackles for 1 miss. A couple of penalties in there, but anytime you make 59 tackles, you're going to do pretty well. Crichton in there. So he's obviously going to be an option for next week. Butcher, same to that as Sorensen. I think both of them will, if we don't see a Ryan Madison, if Fainu's still on the bench, I doubt people will pick him up from the bench with the lower minutes, even though he was still solid with 30. So yeah, a few things to think about. Crichton, obviously the goal kicking, but tries as well was great. Turpin, the tackle bot. Tacklebot Terps, 69 tackles. Wow. Nothing else in this game. Good service out dummy half. I don't think there was any issue with what he did as a gameplay perspective. He played hard. He worked really hard. He didn't look like he was gassed. So Sanders Smith ended up coming on for Corey Allen, which allowed Terps to play the 80. So at the point where he would have come off, I think he was pretty close to that 50 mark. It was about a 46, 47, 48, which exactly what you're looking for. Someone at 370k. This is a massive score and huge for anyone who does own him and did bring him in. I think he's owned by about 45% of the top 1,000. So that trade in for me was a win. Obviously, Ponga, the 71, missed out on that. But yeah, we'll have him next week, and he won't go up as much as what Terps will this week with the negative break even. I think Ponga was in the 20s, so 23 or something like that. But yeah, 2 missed tackles, 1 penalty, 1 inside 10. Didn't do much else apart from good service. So that's that. He did great. Still an option next week if you need a hooker coming into that week. Obviously, if Robson does make Origin, some of that, Terps is going to be really, really important. For me, I'm going to have Robson and Turpin next week, so I can only play one. And I'll have Damien Cook on the bench, so I can try and loop one of them, which would be cool. We'll see what happens there for sure. Kiri, 55. He was solid. Liam Martin, looks like concussion, Cat 1. Has 11 days, apparently, until Origin. So I think he will be fine, and they will 100% pick him, and they'll get him checked out to make sure he is fine there. Obviously, he was a bit disoriented, lost his footing trying to get back up and get back into defense. And yeah, they took him off, and good idea. But he was great, guys. Line break, try assist, awesome. Lindsay Smith played big minutes as well, so welcome back to him. Teddy, the 51, he had the try saver with that cover tackle. So they are giving those ones. They obviously gave it to Dylan Brown. But this one here, the one-on-one, looked like he might have got past Teddy, and he saved that one. If he missed it, it would have been a try. So completely fair. The one-on-one tackle for a try saver. Did get the try. 4 tackle breaks in the one play. Really needed that for sure. So 51 for Ted. Another big price rise after his 3 big scores in a row, which is awesome. Exactly what we need. And we'll make our decision now on Ted. I think that with him, I think it's worth keeping him if you can cover this week. Because I'd say he has to back up in 17, but it gets to a point where their season is probably gone, isn't it? Like for us to tip them to be close to minor premiers and definitely close to that grand final, he's been their team's been really, really bad, and he was a solid player in this squad. Let's talk about him now. Let's talk about Manu, and he's just been pretty bad, to be honest with you. He has not had a good year at all. He had, that first game he got at 5'8", he played really well. He scored a try. Second one was solid without him being spectacular, and every other game from there. Obviously coming into the game, into the season, missing a few games, a little bit underdone. He got the injury in a few weeks ago, and it just doesn't look the same. So Manu, frustrating. The 39, he's going to lose a fair bit more cash, but what other centers are you going to trade him to? Especially when he plays, he'll play fullback next week, which is obviously better for him. And you can't trade him going into that. And then he plays 17, which we're going to need him for. And then you could trade him in 19 or something if you want, but he needs to show something more than what he's showing right now for him to be a really solid player in our squads. Jack Cogger, he ended up with 3 penalties in this one, a missed tackle, an error. But the tackle numbers is what really kind of saved him in this back end, and a turnover tackle of this game. So he was looking like he was going to get about 35, 37, and then really turned it on at the end. So this is exactly what we expect from Cogs, a good tackler. We expected more kick medals in this one, but they really just rolled up field really easily. Didn't have any try assists or anything like that. So to get 48 in this type of game with how it played out, and no attacking stats, that was great for him. So definitely not a good option heading into next week if you need one, but it'll be the last week that you can get him, I think. Tupanua, 46, he worked out well in this one, made some good runs, got 4 tackle breaks in there as well. But yeah, playing 48 through the middle, interesting, but good PPM in this one. Mitch Kenny, the 45, was better for him. Dill Edwards got the line break and the try. Big run meters on that play as well. Picked up another 30 or 40 in that one. So bit of a low one for him. Wasn't needed as much. They dominated in other areas. But if you did pick him up a couple of weeks ago, a couple of 40s, not too exciting for sure. You want him to have that big 60, 70, 80 now to offset those couple of lower ones for sure. Which I think he can do, definitely. To all the 41 guys, so anyone owns him, not many. Palga, he actually had a really good game again in terms of fantasy anyway, 38 and 37, his 2 games. Good tackle break numbers for their big run meters as well, and some kick defusals. He was pretty solid. Looked like he'd hurt his arm at some point, but it might have just been a stinger. Because I thought he might have come off, and I was kind of hoping that there would be an outside back that got just hampered or something, or mini head knock. It's just something where they had to go off for 15 minutes, so it allowed Sanders Smith to come on and Terps to play the 80. No injuries, no big issues, but looked like he might have gone off with that arm there. Didn't happen, but that's fine. He ended up having to go in for Allen anyway. Taruva there, 33. Crichton, 32. He's going to go down another chunk. He's a low minute guy. Impact guy. Interesting. But not impacting too much. One offload, no tackle breaks. Weird. Lodge, 28 minutes as well. So sounds like he's on the outer. He wants to leave for sure. Isaac Tungo, 28 with the try. Not ideal at all for those that were looking at him. Fisher Harris as well, 27 in his 38 minutes. So as I said, he's just nowhere near himself. Unfortunately, after that knee injury, he just kind of... He looks like he's playing on one leg, and he needs another bye, which is coming in 19, but for those that grabbed him, you're needing him for this week, and that's another big price drop. Unfortunately, 38 minutes, 4 missed tackles for 18 made. Pretty yuck, man. He was, before his second stint, it looked like he was going to come on earlier, and they put him on with 13, 14 minutes to go. But turnover tackle for him in there as well to get 27 is pretty disgusting. So get him through, this round 16 and then trade him out instantly. He's been very bad. Sonny Luke came back and played. Salmon in there for 12. He'll obviously get more game time next week, but Hosking will come straight back into that starting side. If you did hold him, very good work. And Nathan Brown, 34 minutes in this one, average at best. So that's that. That's the Roosters season is in the toilet. Panthers are going on the up and up and up. They've been great. Isaiah Yeo just continues to be incredible. 72. If anyone grabbed him this week, it worked out awesomely. I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. Good luck with today's game. I have 6 players remaining once I make my trades, which is good. Thank goodness I likely won't have to play Tommy Talau. Actually, I shouldn't say that because there could be injuries to my 4 current players that I have. Hopefully making big ranks. I'm sitting at 162, and hopefully that will change considerably. Back towards somewhere in the within the top 80, I think I'd be happy with the carnage that I've had, and then we can push forward to next week and hopefully sneak through that one okay. Considering I think I've got 10 playing at the moment, or 11 including Talau, so I might have to make a couple of trades again and hopefully get through round 17 and round 18 pretty unscathed, so we can save a trade or two to get into round 20 for our 8 allotment of trades. So good luck, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.